November 1992. Bill Clinton was just elected president, grunge ruled the airwaves, and the 16-bit wars were in full swing, prompting Sega to launch their new console, the Sega CD. Created as an add-on for the Genesis, Sega CD represented a shift in gaming as it was one of the first consoles to have full motion video and CD-quality audio.
I remember standing in the middle of a Good Guys, and there was a Sega CD on display for the first time, and I saw full motion video games being played, and it literally blew my mind. They had to get a bucket.
The first model sold for $300, had a 12.5 megahertz processor with 64 kilobits of RAM. It used a one-speed CD-ROM, and it required the Genesis controller to play games.
It was gigantic. You actually had to stack your Genesis on top of it, and I can tell you how hard it was to get the console and video games out of my parents to begin with. So the $300 stackable thing was not going to happen.
In spite of the cost, a heavy-duty advertising campaign ensured that the system sold out in its first weeks of infancy, moving 50,000 units.
Well, Sega was very, very big. I mean, they were arguably ruling the roost with the Genesis. So when they decided to go with the CD format, it would raise eyebrows. It's like, okay, if Sega's going all in on this, then everyone else has to get in line as well.
At the time, cartridges could only hold about 8 to 16 megabits of memory, as opposed to the CD, which was over 5,000.
Before, games had just had characters speaking in beeps and bloops and text on screen, but now voice actors could really breathe life into characters.
This is ridiculous.
By 1993, Sega would release a smaller version of the system for $230, along with the game featuring everyone's favorite hedgehog speedster, Sonic.
I think Sonic CD was probably the best Sega CD game and the most popular and the one that everybody had, and it was a great game. I mean, Sonic was great back in those days.
But not all the games were great. Many titles were just interactive movies, like the Make a Video series, where you team up with a band to help them create a video.
I'm not proud of it, but I played the hell out of every Make My Music video game there was. Criss Cross had one, Marky Mark had one, NXS had one. I didn't know who NXS was, but I knew I needed to rent that video game.
Yeah, what up? This is Boy Packer, and welcome to Make My Video.
You could select the song you wanted to play, and they'd give you little tips like, I want to see squirrels, or it'd be dope if you used that fresh strobe effect, yo. And then when you were done, they would tell you that they thought your video was totally whack, or super fresh.
Despite the increase in graphics, many fans criticized the system for its high price point and its long loading times.
I mean, the cartridge, as stupid as it was, having to blow on it, there weren't really load times on those.
I was one of those cartridge purists who was just like, what? Spin a CD? You must be mad. This is the future.
But perhaps the most infamous moment in Sega CD history was Night Trap.
So it's the early 90s, I'm a young whippersnapper video gamer, and I say, Mom, Dad, I have to have this game.
There's these girls, and they're having a slumber party. Party! And of course that means pillow fights, panties, that kind of thing. And there's vampires in it.
Then they saw somebody hanging upside down, having blood drained from their neck, and they said, what's this thing? What's this thing again? It's a video game. It's a video game. It's fine.
The ensuing controversy resulted in congressional hearings over its offensive material and would lead to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB.
When you go back and look at it, it is no worse than the PG-13 horror films that we have today.
Night Trap did nothing to help the system's image, and by 1994, new systems like the PlayStation and Sega Saturn were already in development, and game developers were ready to move on.
What an understatement.
While the Sega CD would be the most successful console peripheral, ultimately it would only go on to sell about 2.5 million units.
It was a great product at the wrong time, and that's the only problem with the Sega CD. They really tried too much too soon. I hope they remember it as just another wacky, harebrained Sega idea that unfortunately didn't take off, but provided some gamers with a hell of a lot of fun.